tonight we have, one of the greats. This guy is a fantastic actor who seemingly has been in everything good and funny and dramatic. You know him from everything from The Deuce to Santa Claus to Serenity, the Firefly movie. There's been so many great things that he's been a part of. Please welcome David Krumholtz. David, what's up, buddy?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
What's up, buddy?
That intro made me like scared. I don't know how to live up to my name. You know.
Well, by the way, people are filling up the chat with every other credit that you have. They're like, "What about numbers? What about 10 things I hate about you? What about
I've left a trail of real gems behind me."
That's the name of the game. That's the name of the game.
You're supposed to follow them and eventually find me, but guess what? I won't be there. I don't exist. Only my characters do. Isn't that pretentious? David Krumholtz doesn't exist, but his characters do. I like it.
My characters will live on.
Krumholtz, are you on the East Coast?
How are you guys doing? I'm so happy to see you. I am on the East Coast. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just see that it's dark where you are. And
are you in a storage unit?
I'm in a storage unit. Yeah, I'm down in my purge bunker in case the purge happens.
Nice.
And yeah, man. And Shear's got like
they're not coming after you when the purge happens.
Well, we don't know. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true.
And Shear is so well lit, and he's in like soft focus and all that. And it's amazing.
I'm in a studio unit out in Van Nuys that I've decorated into a guest bedroom, so it feels accessible. But I got a whole crew here, team of 15 people, and they're all
back to one.
So you're on a porn set.
I am on an abandoned because I felt like it was my duty during the pandemic to support the unused porn sets. So yeah, I definitely
did that. Carry your own porn zip file. And you use the porn set.
Yeah.
Podcasts from. What is happening?
I don't know if I told you both this. On the League. It is a porn story. On the League. Yeah. We were shooting in this building and in downtown LA before people realized they could make a lot of money by building very nice studios. There were these very crappy studios. Rob and I shot a majority of Human Giant sketches.
Yeah, Human Giant was filmed on porn sets in downtown LA for sure. Most of it.
We literally saw a naked man wearing like a army hat one time who was shooting a porn movie called Letters to Lonnie, but just standing there with a very erect penis, just hanging out.
Seen that film.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good
Rated it on Pornhub. I rate. I don't just watch. I rate. I'm one of those guys.
You make comments on Pornhub.
I make comments. By
the way, the comments on Pornhub always so positive. The only place on the internet where everyone seems to be like, "Hey, great work, really enjoyed this."
Some of them are really, really deep. I mean, there's one actress who's really verbal, and she doesn't do it anymore, but she was very verbal and she was very creative with what she said, and she was very. And someone in the comments section, I remember, called her the Cicero of porn.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. Wait, Paul, what was your story about the League?
So we were shooting a scene, and our DP, we're all on the couch. It's like we're playing a game, we're over somebody's house for a Christmas party. We're all playing a game, and we're all sitting on this couch. And our DP comes over, and he's like, "Check this out." And he shows us a still from a porn on that very couch where two people were just having very hardcore sex, and we had to then sit on this couch for the remainder of the day, knowing that it was. We were there, and then I guess other people had caught on to it, because then I started to see like Tumblrs where they were just putting our still on top of the other still. Like we were in the same couch, on the same couch, in the same living room. And it was such to know that, like,
to know it, right.
To know it in the, like, I don't care if I find out about it later. Sure. Whatever. I can't protect that. But to know it in the moment is
well, people worry about the cum stains, but for me, it's the anal drippings, that the idea that there might have been anal drippings.
Right.
That bothers me a lot more. Yeah, that actually happened in a house that I bought a house, and in LA, in the Hollywood Hills, when I thought I was going to be successful for a long time. And it had an elevator in it. And
an elevator?
It had an elevator in it. Anyway, I really blew it. But I was watching a porn, and it was filmed. I was like 2 months after we moved in, and it had been filmed in my house. And I called my wife
in your house.
In my house, and I called my wife into the room, and I said, "Look at this." Of course, I pulled my trousers up because she doesn't want to see it. But she took a look, and we called the owners who had just sold us the house, and we said, "Were you guys renting out the house to?" And they were two. I remember there were two. You ever see that show $1 Million Listing?
Yeah.
It was the two brothers. The brothers. It was their house, and they were throwing crazy parties and shooting porns in their house.
Yeah,
and they were also, strangely enough, both kickers for high NCAA football teams. They were both really, I think one of them won a championship. Or something.
The two guys on $1 Million Listings were football place kickers.
Correct.
And rented out their houses for porn.
Yes,
this is so
100%. And my wife reupholstered all because they were built-in couches.
Okay,
they were built-ins. Yeah.
Oh,
so my wife had it reupholstered and redone and everything, but and she had the same concern I did. It wasn't a cum thing; it was an anal dripping thing for her as well.
The more you throw around that term, I feel like the less comfortable I am. I know you think you're making me more comfortable with it.
Yeah, no, because I know you like that kind of stuff. But I get
when I first moved to LA, I did that classic. That dumb thing that people do to famous people where I was in a restaurant in where's my wife? I gotta look around for my wife is not in the garage. I think I was on a date with someone. Don't tell my wife that I ever went on a date. My wife thinks that I married her when we were 16 because that's what I told her. But I was on like a date or something, and at some restaurant in the Valley, and I saw this guy that I totally thought I knew. I was like, I think I went to high school with this guy. And I was just marching over to him, and I got about 2 feet away, and I was like, oh, he's a guy from porn, and I've seen him only come on people. And I was like, and he saw me coming at him, like coming in hot with like a handshake, like, hey, bro. And I was like, oh, I don't know you at all.
I saw a male porn actor at the Vons on Pass Avenue in Burbank. And I said, hey, you're awesome to him. This was many years ago. And he looked at me and literally gave me like the ill look. Like, what's wrong with you, dude? Why would you call me out like that? Like, don't be that guy. I am awesome, but still.
I do want to just circle back to it because it's worthy just to engage with. Where did this elevator go to and from in the house? Like, how big was the house? It was a 4-story
house.
Okay.
It sounds great. It sounds like a great house.
I lived down the street from Kanye West.
Wow.
Who would never say hi to me when I would pass him walking my dog.
Oh boy.
And even though I would say, hey, how's it going? He would never. We had a basement, an actual basement in LA. It went underground, which is terribly unsafe. I don't think any of this building that I lived in, it was an apartment building, no joke, that they had converted into a lofty house thing, castle, medieval. It was strange. I threw parties there. It was fun. But
were you a single person when you bought this house?
Married. We were married, and we thought this was the house where you raise the children.
Right.
Some shallow palace with an elevator in it in the middle of the Hollywood Hills down the street from Kanye West. And it was really bad. It was really disastrous. And I lost a lot of money on that house. It was impossible to sell. No one wanted it. The elevator broke. Within a year of moving in, we had to replace the elevator engine, which was like $11,000 or something insane, you know. Yeah, lost a lot of money on that house. Lost quite the nut on that house. And
that's that network TV money though. Like the only other house that I've been in where I've seen an elevator like that was also, and you know, I hope I'm not being name droppy, but Megan Mullally has an elevator in her house.
Ooh.
And but that's the same thing. And like, you know, the money that we make on like cable shows isn't, you know, and I'm not complaining, but like people think that like, oh, these people are billionaires. Like the people that make a fuckload of money are like network sitcom or network drama, you know. And like, so that's the only time I've seen
they ought to pay you to do that level of shit. But no, I shouldn't say that. I love that show that I did. What was it again? I try not to think about it too often, but no. You know, Eddie Murphy wore one purple leather glove. And I saw an interview with him where he was like, where they asked him, hey, when you were in your 20s doing Raw and whatever, did you go crazy like with the money and the fame? And he literally said, well, didn't you see Raw? I wore one purple leather glove. And that house was my purple leather glove. Like that was like me thinking that I've made it. I've been embraced by Hollywood forever. Yeah, I'm the Mickey Rooney of my generation. And even Mickey Rooney ended up being abused.
I mean, I think the difference for people they want to know, like people who are on network TV shows, they can buy elevators. People who are on cable shows, we do escalators. I have 2 escalators.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's how I get up.
Yeah. Yours is just a series of escalators. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very they're only up escalators. You got to jump down.
But,
I can't run hard down the.
I can't afford escalator. We just have one of those moving sidewalks, like in the airport. So it's nice. It is nice, but it's not the same. Like it's harder to get upstairs.
And you got to be careful when you get off. You got to. Right off.
Yeah. Krumholtz, are you living in New York? Are you working? Are you hanging out?
I live in New Jersey.
Okay.
I didn't work for 16 straight months. Wow. That was terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm now working on an HBO thing with called White House Plumbers, and it's a water
with Dave Mandel with all the great
and Woody Harrelson and yeah.
I got that part. It was me, guys. No, it's very nice to be working. It scared the living hell out of me. It's still a little scary. I just turned down a thing, and it's scary. I don't know. I'm scared. I hate being an actor. Can I just say that?
Yeah.
I loathe it at this point. I've been doing it for almost 30 years, and really and truly, it's been a good 16 or 17 years since my prime, since I feel like I was worth anything to this business other than Glub Fat Boy who says shit in interesting ways. It doesn't matter. If you're good, the reason the Writers Guild of America is so powerful is because writing has to be of some quality. Acting does not have to be of any quality whatsoever anymore. No one knows the difference between a good actor and no one cares. No one cares. And so the Screen Actors Guild is powerless. I am a victim of theirs. I live in a victim mentality, and I should not have chosen to do what I do for a living. It's over. It's been over. And now I'm just kind of spreading myself way too thin. You know, it's like there's just nothing. There's nothing left on the bagel. The bagel is dry.
Is it that you is it the sort of feast or famine way about the business, or is it that you don't like not knowing when you're going to work again and all that? Because I mean, that's just sort of it is what it is.
I don't like the emotional roller coaster of it.
Yeah.
I don't like being judged mercilessly by morons within the industry, by children. You go in and pitch a show to like Netflix or HBO now, and you literally are meeting children in the room that go, "Oh my God, you were so funny in that thing I saw when I was 2." And you're like, wow, man, this is like a night. There's no oversight, and also I hate that I've become so honest. I hate that it brings out the worst in me. I've become bitter and rude, and I just like That's why I live in New Jersey. You asked me where I live. I live in New Jersey.
Yeah,
and I hang around the most Jersey people I can find.
Yeah.
For some sense of humility. And so,
now, what would you do? What would make you happy? what would make you happy? Would you be happy if White House Plumbers got season 10 and you were doing White House Plumbers and you knew that you were going to be working on HBO for 10 years? Would that?
A home would be nice. A long-term home of some sort would be nice. These are all limited series. That's all I've been doing, is series that end after like a few episodes. And then I only do like a couple of the few episodes. But I would like to be a Marvel character. I would like for Marvel to do the right thing. But the problem is, there's only so many Marvel characters, or so few Marvel characters that I can, play. Best case scenario, I'm a guy who has to turn into a monster of some sort to fight.
Right. Yeah.
There's no way anyone would believe that I am a superhero, and I don't want to work out. I have no interest in it. Even if they paid for my trainer and did that whole thing. You
have no so like the way that Kumail has transformed his body, that is not appealing to you. Like, where you basically have to go on autopilot. All you have to do is show up and you just work hard. Like, they're paying you to work that you have no desire to do.
I'm liable to hurt myself. I think that's what it is. And I don't want to. So The Thing, Ben Grimm in the Fantastic Four, that's the best case scenario. A guy, there he is. Wow, that's so weird that you had it queued up already. A guy who's like a little guy who's just like a regular guy who becomes a monster. That works for me, but that's the best case scenario. Realistically, I feel like I have a shot if they ever do, because he was another Fantastic Four villain. If they ever do Mole Man, I'm right down the middle for Mole Man.
Now, Mole Man is an interesting character. That would be a great, if you don't know Mole Man, I'll show you a picture of Mole Man here. Let's see, my mouse has been a little bit wonky. There's Mole Man. Mole Man, it's a shorter gentleman, but definitely you don't have to work out to be Mole Man.
Dude, I am Mole Man. Look at
that. Just giving you a baton.
I don't know all of the Marvel characters. Mole Man, what is his deal? Like, what's his power?
He lives under the ground and he controls.
Okay,
what does he control? Rats or something?
I mean, there's a whole like Mole Man story. I think he's a superhero who seemed more powerful in the 60s. Like, that's where he really came into it, but yes, he's got some powers. It's not like Aquaman, but it's a base level of powers.
Didn't Chickless, when he did the thing, didn't he go? Aren't there stories about him going crazy, like for real? Because
in the makeup.
Yeah, because he was like so inside that thing and it took forever.
He had fake teeth, right?
And he had fake teeth, and he was like claustrophobic and sweaty, and I think he literally went like kind of bananas.
I did a makeup gig. I did something like that, and it did drive me. You feel so jealous of everybody getting to eat hamburgers. And you realize because they tell you can't chew.
Yeah.
I got to pull up a picture of this because this show that you did was great. I want to share this
about it at all, except you. I think you're the only fan, Paul.
Well, what was the show? And I'm going to pull up a picture as we're talking.
Okay, I created a TV show. That way, I make sure to say it that way because people automatically assume that I don't self-generate. You see, and I have self-generated many times over many years. People just assume, oh, he's just a puppet, does the acting and does nothing else. Well, they would be wrong. And as you can see by the lack of, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the weather from. Yes, yes, allow it. Yes. Oh, cancel it. And but no, that was a little clip from a show I did called Gigi Does It. That's me.
Yes.
In 4.5 hours of prosthetic.
And this was the same people who did the bad grandpa makeup, right? Or am I right
same
on that?
Exact people who did the bad grandpa makeup.
And it looked amazing. And you embodied
it's finally,
this character.
6 years later, available on Amazon Prime.
Whoa.
Whereas before it was on Amazon, but you had to pay for every episode.
Yep.
And it was something like 59 cents.
And what did you do in the makeup? Did you go around and kick people in the dick or
No, it wasn't a prank show like that. It would be the joke was sort of meant to always be on me. So it was a hybrid reality show. There were written elements. I created it with Ricky Maybe, and Ricky played my my little male nurse. And the idea was that we would go into situations with people not being aware that I was a man inside this outfit, this makeup, or aware. We didn't care. Like if they figured it out, we would immediately just say, okay, here's what we're going to do. Because there was never a prank done on these people. It was always sort of, hey, watch this lady embarrass herself. Yeah. And that was the joke, was all because we didn't want to do the prank thing. But we had fun. We shot every episode in 2 days. There was no money. They called it a reality show, so it was non-WGA, non-BGA. It was a fucking nightmare. It was a total nightmare.
I keep laughing because Krumholtz, every story you keep telling is like, it starts off and it's like, oh, he's
Let me tell you, it was non-WGA.
Gonna have a happy. It's almost happy, and then no, it's not happy. It's not happy.
There's always, it's the opposite. Whatever the opposite of a silver lining is to every story. There's always just a rotten acid black streak. No, but no, it was a joy, and I loved it, and I was in charge, and I did a pretty damn fine job, and I felt good about it. And no one watched it. The IFC was failing at the time. Flailing and failing, and now does not exist.
What happened? What did they become? Did they become something else?
Well, they were always part of AMC. They were like AMC's comedy wing. Yeah. And then AMC started doing comedy and kind of
usurped them.
And now I don't even know if IFC
a lot of these cable channels are like the picture from Back to the Future. Like they just are erased from existence. It's like I don't know. Like IFC is not there. There was no
Portlandia. It wasn't Portlandia.
Portlandia was their big hit. And then they had Documentary Now, and it was like wow, rocking. It was awesome. And then it just sort of nosedived real quick with my show. But it exists somewhere and people can watch it. So I just want to talk about the other Marvel character because I find him to be the. And this would require me doing a French Canadian accent, which I have to work on.
Can you do that? Okay.
I can kind of do it. Fuck. It's supposedly they say the F word at the end of every sentence, but Puck from Alpha Flight. Does anybody remember?
There he is. Yeah.
Totally believable. He's
very hairy.
Very hairy. He's about. I believe he's he's a little person.
Yeah.
Which, technically they should cast a little person, but nowadays with the CGI, folks, you know what I mean?
Exactly. You could do it. You could do it. Yeah. I mean, look, next to Chris Hemsworth, we all look like little people.
Would it be wrong? I don't know. Maybe it'd be wrong.
I don't know. It's tricky. I appreciate you wanting to get into this Marvel world because,
I really do.
Look, it's you got spinoffs, you got a million different things you can do. I always feel badly because as a bald man, there are not many bald characters. Magneto and Luke Cage, and then you're done. Then it's like we're going down to like Drax's daughter. It's like there are very few bald characters in this world. So I appreciate that.
You Silver.
Well, yes, Silver Surfer.
Yeah,
there you are.
That's great. Yeah, that's a great idea.
It's you. It's been you this whole time.
Yeah, you should be
I'm
Silver Surfer.
seeing it
Silver
now.
Surfer. I mean, but there is a world in which
Here as Silver.
I mean, look, I'm ready to go. Get me in. Get me in.
Rob,
Let me
who
be.
would you run it? You could play Magneto.
I don't know. I feel like I would be good as like a secondary character. Like I always like the guys that have to come in and like clean up the mess of the main guy,
Oh, dude.
like if Wolverine, he fucking his claws come out and he rips up his whole house. Like I could come in there and be like, oh, come on, Wolverine. Look what you did.
Rebuild the house. And that would
Yeah.
be a spin-off Marvel show.
Exactly.
By the way,
Like
I've pitched this show.
Houses shows.
Yeah.
I've pitched this show. This is very true. There's a Marvel comic book called Damage Control. And that's all they do is like after the superheroes fight, they come in and they're a bunch of contractors. And a lot of they work with superheroes who are like essentially union workers. Like, yeah, I can lift up 150.
The show and they didn't say,
well, it's a many. I've worked in many different ways in Marvel. I kind of brought back brute force for a little bit and different things. But Damage Control, I think they introduced it in one of the Spider-Man movies. I think that Kevin Feige is very confident and secure about what he wants to bring in when he wants to bring it in, and I don't think a straight up comedy about construction crew is right at the top of the list. I don't think it's like Loki and then Damage Control.
More of a phase 8.
Yeah, or 15. For me, I'd rather just be like, I think it's like by the time I'm about 70, I think Damage Control will be the sweet spot.
Can we all talk about what we're gonna do when we're old, in terms of like existential crises? Like when we're 70 years old, will we be respected? Will you get to play a grandfather on Broadway? Rob, will you get to be
that's why I'm embracing my gray hair, because
I think that's so admirable.
I'm trying to get ahead of this problem. I'm trying to put myself out there for these like FBI roles, where I can come in and be like where'd he go? Okay, we got to rent a car and then we got to get down to the train station. Stat. I
put a lot of thought into this.
Yeah, I mean, I was just improvising that dialogue. Obviously, I've typed up some thoughts and ideas here, but
I am trying to reverse the process. So as you can see, this is really not going well here.
It's fine. It's fine.
I have a hair transplant scheduled, guys.
What?
I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
Are you?
I'm gonna do it.
Whoa.
I'm gonna do the thing that Paul never had the balls to do.
I think everybody does it, right? Doesn't everybody that we know, not everybody that we know, but a lot of people.
A lot of people. I will tell you that a lot of people that you would be surprised by come to me and ask me about it. And I'm like, well, clearly I didn't take that path. So I have nothing to offer you here besides good luck. But I saw someone who did it recently and paid $12,000 for it, and it looks fucking fantastic.
Mine is 17,000.
Wow. Well, his was like a round 2.
Oh, gee.
Yeah. I feel like David Spade always jokes about that he just got, an update, and because I don't know how often you have to do another thing. And like Joel McHale always jokes about that. He's always like, oh, look how much more hair I have now than I did in this picture. It's like, no one cares. Like, I think,
so you're going to go, I want to follow this journey with you.
The answer is, I feel like if I shave, if I do what you've done, if I make the mistake you've made, I feel like it's Fat Nosferatu time. You know what I mean? It's like
I'm working for the Adam Silver story, the commissioner of the NBA. Like that's going to be my Oscar picture. So I'm going that route. I gotta go there.
But they've given you hair on Black Monday.
Yes, by my own choice. That was like a character choice that I wanted to have this toupee because it represented something that I thought was interesting. And I like wearing hair, and I like going back and forth between it. But I'm finally at a point in my life in the last handful of years where I'm completely comfortable with where my hair is at. Where I
I
have
think
not
you
been
look
before. Though.
Great.
Well, you're nice to say.
If you suddenly got hair, remember when Jason Alexander did it?
Yeah.
Suddenly, like, he was a man who had literally become ridiculously rich and famous for being bald.
Yeah.
And then he showed up with hair to a premiere one day.
And he called it a system. He said, my hair system. He did not say a transplant. It was a hair system. And that made it even more bizarre to me.
The craziest one is Travolta, though. Travolta has like some sort of weird like spray on like triangle thing that I guess
things.
But I what's insulting about it, and look, I obviously colored my hair. We all have issues with our hair, but what's insulting about the Travolta thing is that he thinks that we are that dumb. Like, that's what I don't like, is that like, we're not
totally
idiots. Like, like that's
so obvious what he's
piece of, it's some
sort
of.
The thing about him is he's a handsome bald dude.
He easily,
from Russia with Love or from Paris with Love. He looks great. He said something in an interview in Paris with Love, and David, I would almost love to come back to it. We have our next guest here. I don't want to keep him. I don't want to keep him on the burners, but John Travolta said, "Yeah, I shaved my hair off for this part because people were really excited and they wanted to see what I would look like bald." He was selling it like, "I only did this because America asked for it, and I think it looks pretty good." I was like, "Dude, let's be straight here. Let's be straight. You did it because you're a bald man. That's okay." Like, I don't understand the fear about being bald, but I especially at a certain point if you are past like the sexy leading man, like why not try it out?
Right.
What do you got to lose?
Not quite there yet. I'm still.
I think you look good. I think your hair transplant look good because you had enough hair there to work around.
I shaved it during the pandemic. I'll say that, and this is the last thing I'll say. I know you got to get rid of me, but I shaved it during the pandemic, and damn, it looked great.
See there, look. I will tell you this.
Had a nice head.
I will tell you, to anyone out there that is going bald, I will say this. Don't mess around with getting your hair cut. Get yourself to a barber. Start getting it down. Get ahead of the game. You don't need those wispy things. You look great, David. I'm saying, but like, there's people below you that don't, where they're kind of like walking this line. Like, I think it's okay. The sooner you commit to one side of it, the better you are. And that's how no one told me that. And I recommend the podcast Bald Talk, because it's just people talking about
it. I'm going to be doing it. And
do it. It's great.
If you will. Oh, yeah, I'll get more in depth about it.
Well,
it's wonderful seeing both of you lovely people.
You're amazing, David. Please come back. We'll talk some more.
Yeah, man.
And I want to
I want to talk to you more, man. It's so fun to hang out with you. I haven't seen you in a million years, and I love just kicking around real Hollywood bullshit like this.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the king. Oh, do I have stories? All right.
Well, thank you.
See you,
Thanks, David.